Welcome, my Toronto Maple Leaf fans. Welcome to the pregame before tonight's puck drop between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Nashville Predators. I'm going to take you to a quick pregame press conference. I'll be back later tonight with the highlights of today's action.
If you're a coach or expert, I wonder if this is true for you. You've been trying to grow your business, you're running traffic, you're building funnels, you're building an audience, and then maybe making some sales, but then you're not doing anything with the...
I just want to be a hard player to play against. I want to be able to score in different ways and provide, in different ways, whether it's playing on the PK, block shots, making hits, stuff like that. I think it has a big impact on the game. That's the kind of player I try to be.
Now that you've been in the league for a few years now, are you finding this point of the season an easier adjustment for you than maybe when you came out of college in that first year of the full length of schedule?
Yeah, I think I feel a lot better, honestly, than I did last year at this time. I think my body's just a little more used to it, and I know how to take care of myself just a little bit better. And it's my body's feeling good, and I still feel refreshed, and just excited for the back half now.
What do you think it was that you learned from last year? Is it the rest or nutrition? Like what are some of the things that you kind of? Oh, sorry.
A lot of things. Take different things from a lot of players in here. Kind of watching a guy like Johnny, it's pretty easy to pick up a routine that's healthy and helps you recover and stuff like that.
Sorry about that. What about the groove that this team is on right now? Like, what's been the biggest change from last week maybe to now?
Yeah, I think our compete level's just been higher. I think we've been winning races to pucks, winning net front battles. Doing a good job on the lines. I think that's been the change so far. I think these past few games, I think that's why we're having so much success, is just the compete level of our group.
What has this week meant to the group? Like, it almost seemed like there was a set approach, and to see the results come as well.
Yeah, I thought at the start of the season, I thought we were a top team. And, I thought we dipped a little bit in our defensive game, and I think we really kind of refound ourselves, we found our identity, and we've been playing great hockey. So we just want to kind of stay consistent with that towards the end of the season here.
What do you have to be mindful with the Preds tonight? What do you have to be mindful of with the Preds and their skill up front?
Yeah, I mean they have a lot of skill up front. Special teams too. I think their power play is pretty dangerous. Obviously playing with Fact right now, how good he is around the net. So just trying to make sure that he doesn't get those chances is going to be important for us. It's going to be a good game tonight.
How much do you care about finishing in first in the division? How much is that talked about?
I guess it's important. You want home ice advantage. You want I guess you always want to win the division. I don't think that there's any reason why you wouldn't.
Yeah. What's usually about Brandon since he joined the team?
I think just how steady and calm he is back there. I think he moves pucks very well. He's making great blocks and important blocks at big times of the game. So I think he's been incredible back there, and I think he's going to be a huge and important part to this team when it comes to playoff time.
What's he like off the ice?
I'm just starting to get to know him, but both of them, both him and Scotty have been incredible, great guys, and love having him around the room. So. It's been good. Obviously, the guys have made it an easier adjustment. Everybody in this room is fantastic, but the caliber of players too. It's fun being on the bench, watching that power play go out there. I'm just trying to enjoy the experience. I've recognized it was a shock at first, but then you kind of realize that you're living most kids' dream with playing for the Leafs. So I'm really enjoying taking it from that perspective, and just trying to enjoy each moment that I get.
What's been the most surprising thing about this team making the change?
Man, I don't know. That's a good question. I wouldn't say anything with the team is necessarily surprising. The organization's been fantastic. They treat us really well here. It's a different level with the way that they treat the guys, so that's been super nice. For everything from a personal standpoint, just the change in general was the biggest shock for me, but getting to know the city, getting to know the guys has been great, so nothing that's really caught me too off guard.
Yeah. Have you had any fan interactions during that homestand at all? Like, are you getting recognized already?
A little bit. I have been walking to the games, which I just throw my headphones in and truck down the street there and go to the games, so as long as I got the headphones in, I think I'm pretty well fine. But it's been, you can see the passion within the city with all the people walking around on non-game days. There's jerseys everywhere, and it's a very great fan base to be a part of. So I'm excited about all of that.
Yeah, so you're living at a hotel right now?
Yeah, right now I'm still in the hotel, but next week I'll try and figure out a townhouse situation and kind of move into a little bit better situation just so my kids can come up and family and whatnot. So working on that right now, and haven't had any complaints with the hotel. My daughters love the pool and the room service, so we're good there.
Yeah. Oh, so they're here.
They were
Toronto.
for that four-game homestand.
Okay, nice.
My son wasn't there just because we're working on his passport, but my wife and my daughter came up, and it was refreshing to have my daughter around just to see it through her perspective. She was having a blast.
We caught up with you in Colorado. You talked about how excited you were to play with Morgan Riley because after playing against him, what have you learned in the last week or so about being a defensive partner?
For sure, it's great. I feel like our communication is growing, our chemistry is growing as well. Mo's so good at moving the puck. I love trying to pump it over to him and let him kind of make the breakout plays. But overall, I really like that connection. I feel like I've played with guys similar to him in the past with Torrey Krug. I like to play with offensive guys, and I just definitely want to try and encourage him to get up in the play and let him know that I'll be there to kind of be behind him and be on the back end. So I think we can definitely play to our strengths and make a really good pairing.
I was talking a bit with Charlie Coyle when the Avs were in Toronto.
Yeah.
He was just, saying what a whirlwind this has all been. Like, how much have you Bruins guys, ex-Bruins guys, talked since you got all those trades?
For sure. That's been a nice component, honestly, to have the guys to go through it a little bit with. It's made me feel a little bit more comfort knowing that, Charlie, Trent Frederick, and then Marshy are also going through the same thing. So we've been bouncing ideas off of each other, just kind of checking in every now and again. But you can see as the weeks have gone along that everybody's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable in the situation and embracing the opportunity that we all have. We all got moved to very good teams. So we're trying to switch that mindset to get into the playoff mode and just appreciate the opportunity that's ahead.
What are your early impressions of Craig playing for him?
He's awesome, Chief. He's been really great. I love the way that things are handled around here, situational wise. Systems are not that different from Boston, which has been nice to not have to change too much. I've never played man on man really, so I'm glad we don't do that here really. But overall, no, they've been great. The communication has been great. Rhino's been awesome. Lane, everybody. So I think that's the biggest point is just communication off the bat, and then finding my way and just getting more comfortable.
Do you see a parallel between like the Allmark Swayman, Stolar's Wold, like the fact that they
For
got
sure.
a tandem here?
Yeah, I mean, I've been very fortunate to have some great goalies along the way, and you can see throughout these past couple of games, especially, they're on fire. So I love having a great goalie behind me. I'm trying to communicate as best as I can with those guys. But yeah, they are definitely similar to that tandem.
Nashville's fighting it a little bit right now. What do you have to do to make sure your guys don't fall into the trap taken for granted?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you got any answers? Just prepare them like normal. Like Nashville's special teams are very good right now. They're actually creating offense. They got some good players over there, as we know, and they're creating good offense right now. So I mean, we just gotta focus on our game and, you know, starting the game on time, starting being direct, not, you know, looking at Nashville, where they're at in the standings. That nothing to do with it. So the focus has got to be on our team and the urgency that we need in our game right away, and the directness that we need in our game right away, and, you know, shooting pucks. It's all those little things like that, and it's stuff we talked about today already, and we'll talk about it again. But yeah, no, I agree. I mean, mentally, it's just all mental. Get yourself prepared for a hard game.
Now that you've had a handful of games with Brandon Carlo, how close is he to what you expect you were getting?
He's right there, I think. You know, I think he's still, there's things that he wants to do better, that he can do better. But overall, I think he's been a good defender for us, and the penalty kill, he's done a good job there, and he's keep building his game. But, you know, he's right there, what we expected.
What does he need to do better, do you think?
Well, I think there's some puck movement that he could, you know, he could see better, or just make the play better, quicker maybe, you know, things like that. That comes though. That'll come. I mean, sometimes that takes a while, and it's not like he, you know, he's the type of guy that's going to make all these fancy plays. It's just directness and, you know, getting used to how we want to move it quick and get going. So that's one area maybe that, you know, he can sharpen up a little bit.
Nice scoring goals, but he also has 150 hits this season. From the beginning when you met him to now, like what's allowed him to evolve to become the player he is?
I think, you know, taking another step of being that power forward we talk about, and his job, what his job is on this team and on the line he's playing on. You know, being physical is very important. And with his skating and strength, getting in on the forward check like he is, and I think that's allowed him to get the physical hits that is needed, is mostly on the forward check, I would say. You know, he forward checks extremely well. You know, he gets in on top of people quickly, closes, and makes contact, and wins a lot of those puck battles.
With to David's point, like there's a short list of how many guys are as productive as he is and how much hits that he has. So how unique a player is he when he's at his highest level?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's very unique in my opinion with those two stats you talked about. You know, there's not a lot of guys that can do what he can do in my opinion. There is guys for sure that do that and play that way. There's not a lot though, so he's in pretty unique company in my opinion.
What allowed you to decide to go with Joseph Hall again tonight here?
The clock is ticking on these 5G subscription savings from Public Mobile.
Well, it's looking at his last games and where he's at, and just thinking ahead a little bit all the time about, you know, upcoming games. And I love the rotation. I know I played two guys in a row a little bit here and there, but I like the rotation, and I just don't feel like I want to get away from that yet.
With playoffs creeping up here, how close do you feel you are to locking in a third line?
It's a little bit of a battle still. It I think Max and Robbie have played a ton together this year. And, you know, I moved Bobby McMahon up, and I mean, I work in pairs more than lines, I would say. Always have. I'm not, you know, you got to mix things up once in a while, and we do that. We'll move a winger here and there around, but, you know, I still think that, you know, Homer, I really liked him with Tavares and Nylander for a bit. He did a real good job there, I thought. And I feel like he can do that same job with these guys. You know, a little more puck possession for these guys in the zone, which would be good. He's good at that. And getting the puck to Max or Robbie or whatever, and they do their thing. But that's kind of what I'm looking at there with that line, with Homer on it.
But you see Max and Robbie as a pair that you like?
Well, I have, and they've scored for us, and some good secondary scoring, right? I think Max's game's gone to another level, and I think there's even more there.
I was going to ask about Bobby because he looks like an answer in the top six, but he's a valuable
Yeah.
bottom six.
Well,
man,
we
too,
always
so.
kind of looked at it that throughout the season that way. Like, do we want to, you little spread it out a little bit, but. I think he's been a good fit there when we put him there. He's been there with those guys before, and they've come through. I mean, so it's always tinkering around a little bit.